Hey guys, what's up? This is Rob with One Star Reviews. Thank you so much for watching. It's Tuesday night. Hope you're having a great week. Today we're going to review the BoomPro speaker from Miatone. This is it right here. You could pick this up from Amazon. I paid 50 bucks for this, and I'm going to share with you the features and just tell you if this is a good buy or not. Because at 50 bucks, it's a competitive price point, but I wanted to try this one out. I think there was a sale on Amazon. I think I got it for like 47 or 48 bucks. So let's go through the specs real quick, and then I'll talk about some of the other speakers that I have that are competitors to this. All right, so this one is it's an immersive, they call it an immersive speaker. It kind of goes all the way around. So it's got the controls on one side right here with this weird tie strap here. It's almost like shoelaces on the end of it. Figured it would be like a, closed loop, but I don't know what you're gonna tie this up to. I don't know, I wouldn't trust this thing. But it does have a strap here. Power button, Bluetooth pairing button, volume up and down, also skip tracks, and what's this thing down here? Oh, yeah, volume up and down, and then your play right there. One thing I do like about this, and I'll talk about what I do like in a minute, is it's got a Type-C connector and there's no flap on it. This thing is Bluetooth 5.3, which is pretty much the latest and greatest, which is kind of cool. And then it's also IPX7. Water, it's not water resistant. Like, you could submerge it. I think it's up to 30 minutes, but it's not fully, the whole 9 yards like IP68 or, dust and water resistant for a super long period of time. But IPX7, rain, if it drops in the pool, this thing is good to go. Let's see what else. And it comes with two color choices. I got blue, so it's kind of cool. It's got these dual passive radiators on the front, top and bottom here, and they kind of move along with the music. Again, they're not speakers, they're radiators. So if you know anything about them, it's just a device that just, it kind of accentuates the bass a little bit by moving some more air. But it's really just it's not even a speaker. It's just a little a cone. Anyway, let's see what else about this. Okay, so I brought along a couple other speakers, but I'm not going to turn them all on and compare them. But overall, I want to say that this speaker is probably the clearest speaker I've ever heard out of the group here. Now, if you get to the $100 price point and above, I mean, obviously you're going to find better choices like the JBLs and whatnot, and the Bose. But for $48, if you like bass, if you really like bass, and again, there's not a whole lot of speakers at this price point that are going to give you like a ton of bass. But if you really like bass, this is kind of a little lacking. It looks really cool. It's got these RGB lights. Here, I'll turn it on real quick. It's got these RGB lights that flash, and you can see here, and they just kind of rotate to different colors as it's on. It also has an auto off switch, which comes on, turns off after a couple of minutes. But anyway, pretty cool. It's kind of like a party speaker. It is like multi-directional, and you can actually sit it upright like this without impeding the sound coming here, and you can also just lay it down on its side. So anyway, the quality of the sound is like I said, it's pretty good as far as the highs and mids, but the bass is a little lacking. Let me play a little bit of YouTube royalty-free music so you can hear it. Okay, so that was some pretty good royalty-free bass music. And it does, it does sound like there's bass coming out and everything. It's not totally like a flat speaker where there's no movement. It does provide, a little bit of bass. It's more, kind of like that simulated bass a little bit. So it's not super deep or whatnot. But like I said, if you heard the mids and highs, they're very clear. So this thing rocks for $47 on that note. Now I brought two more speakers in here. I was going to show you the ones that I already had before. This is the Anker Soundcore Boost, and this is the Tribit, what's this one called? The Tribit Max Sound. Now both of these are in the same price point too. They're 48 to 50, 45 to 50 bucks, and they're both claim to have a lot of bass. Now, this one busted a couple months ago. That's why I actually went looking for another speaker. I really like this one. But this bass, there is more bass on this one, but the clarity of everything else gets muddied up a little bit when you turn that extra bass boost on. So overall, it's like this had like more, I don't want to say deeper bass because it's not, bone crushing bass or anything. But, as an all around sound quality, I think this one does beat the Anker sound core. And same thing with the Tribit. The Tribit does things decently well. Don't mind that big dent right there. But it does things decently well. But overall, when the volume gets raised, this one actually did a better job. This one is 36 watts, 36 watts. I think this one's 24, and I can't remember what this one is too. But I think this one has the highest wattage. So at least when the volume goes up, the sound quality doesn't degrade that bad. Now, when you max it out, of course, these little fake woofers here kind of bottom out and stuff. But like I said, overall, pretty good speaker. Let me tell you a couple of things that I do like about it. I've already explained some of them, but I wanted to make sure I cover them. Number one, the auto shut off. So like if this thing is powered on for a little bit and then, you don't use it or it stays idle, it just kind of powers itself down. It's pretty cool. It gives you a little or something like that when it powers off. This speaker compared to these other ones, this thing is super light. Okay, this thing is really light. If you compare, this Tribit is like a brick, and it's about the same size, and this thing is almost like twice as heavy as this thing. This thing is so light, you could pop this thing in your backpack, you probably won't even know it's in there. The Anker, the Soundcore Boost, it's about the same size. This is heavier, but I give it a pass because you can charge things with it. It does have a USB-A on here, so you can plug in, a phone or something else that you need charging. So it's got a little power bank in here. So give this one a pass, but this thing is super lightweight, in other words. All right, next. You can, obviously you could set it down in different positions. You can set it on its top, you could lay it down, you could do this, you could turn it over, still sound good. With these other ones, there's pretty much only one way you can set them up. You just set them up straight like this. I mean, you can't really balance them on their head, without it, being stable. All right, and next, Type C, we talked about that. So it's future proof. You don't have to screw around with those micro SD cables anymore. Type C, and you don't have the flap like these do right here. Let me show you right here. Soundcore Anker, you gotta like rip this open, and sometimes it's inconvenient, and then you gotta try to stuff it back in there. And then same thing with the Tribit. The Tribit's got it right here. This one's kind of hard to take out. I was like fiddling with this one. You gotta stick your nail in there. Anyway, a little bit more convenient. Just plug the thing in. Whoops. Just plug the thing in and go. All right, and the price, it's 50 bucks. I like the fact that it's not 100. Like if I wanted to upgrade from this, the JBLs of the world that flip 4 or 5, whatever, they're 90 to 100 bucks. They're gonna be way better than this. But for 50 bucks, if you don't want to spend that much on it, and if you're kind of rough with your speakers, like I don't know, I broke this one. This is probably the best bet for you. And the last thing that I really like about it is the RGB lights. It's kind of like a little party in here. Like, if I turn off the lights, oh, they're already off. But it's a nice little party effect. The one thing I do wish it did was I wish you could turn this off, because if you got this thing on at night and you're trying to go to sleep to the music and you got these lights going, you can't turn them off. So that's just a little piece of feedback for Miatone. Next time, put a little switch on here that you could turn them on and off, and that'd be fantastic. But overall, this speaker, it took me a couple days to get used to it. Now, again, the bass, if you're a bass head, you're not gonna be satisfied. If you listen to a lot of music that, that has a ton of bass, it may either bottom out, or you may not hear as much as you'd like. Luckily on Spotify, if you use Spotify, they have an equalizer, so you can kind of adjust it a little bit, so you can boost some of the bass or lower it, at your leisure. But once I did that, it sounded a little bit better. When I first got it out of the box, I was like, okay, it's kind of meh. I was gonna return it. But then after listening to how clear the mids and highs were, I said, this speaker is just gonna be a better overall performer. Mids and highs, I'll deal with it. And like I said, for all around, it's good for me. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up for 50 bucks. Pretty good deal. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Let me know if there's another speaker that's better than the ones I've showed you today, that's in that same price point that maybe you want me to review. Thank you so much for watching. This is Rob with One Star Reviews. Stay safe. God bless you. Do yourself a favor. Love your neighbor. And we'll see you next time.